Okay, so let's cover retargeting, which can be a huge ROI booster if you do it right. I think you know what retargeting is. It's essentially following up with your target audience on Facebook. And essentially, there are two different retargeting strategies. There are engagement retargeting strategies and follow-up retargeting strategies. You will see the difference in a moment. Let's focus on engagement retargeting strategies first, and there are essentially two that are really great for performance campaigns. So essentially, you're stacking two campaigns on top of each other. You're starting out with a video ad. The campaign goal here is video views. So you push that into your market. What I recommend is to go completely broad. You can work with interest targeting or large lookalike audiences, or if you have a little bit of money that you can spend, just don't place any constraints on the algorithm. Go completely broad. You can specify the age and the gender maybe, but if you're operating within mass markets and you have a little bit of money to spend, don't limit the algorithm with don't put any constraints on the algorithm. You don't have to work with interest targeting or lookalike audiences. Go completely broad and spend a little bit of money. Take a video that's relevant. It can be a product related video, or it can be a video that is relevant to your target audience. It should be at least a minute long, but also not too long. So I recommend having a video between 1 and 3 minutes. And essentially, you're pushing the video into the market in phase 1 with a video view campaign. Then you create a custom audience of all Facebook users who watched at least 75% of the video. And then you create a second campaign, a retargeting campaign. You follow up with that audience, with the audience that watched at least 75% of the video, and then you drive them straight into the funnel. It can be an advertorial, it can be an opt-in page, but it also can be a sales page. So you start out with a video view campaign, go broad, have a video that's at least a minute long, otherwise the 75% custom audience will not be highly relevant. And then you take that audience, you create a custom audience based on all Facebook users who watch at least 75% of the video, and then you drive them straight into the funnel. That's engagement strategy number 1, and you can actually tweak it a little bit. So apart from the Facebook users who watch at least 75% of the video, there are some that are not as qualified but still relevant. It's the audience segment 50 to 75%. So all Facebook users who watch between 50 and 75% of the video. I do not recommend driving them, sending them straight into the funnel. If you're selling a product, send them to a piece of content instead, or an opt-in page. Because, those people are still relevant, but they're apparently not ready yet to buy the product, or they're just not ready yet to make a purchase or to take the next step. So if you're selling a product, and if the video ad was product related, if they watch at least 50% of the video, that indicates that they are relevant, but not as relevant as the 75%. So therefore, if you want, that's just optional. Create another custom audience and then drive them to an opt-in page. Start a sales process that's a little bit longer. So you want to warm them up, for example, via email, and then send them to the offer page later down the road. Or that's also what many advertisers do. They just send them to a piece of content and then they start another retargeting campaign. Here's another little tweak. It makes it a little bit more complex, but it's a great strategy. So something you can do is to create a lookalike audience of all Facebook users who watched no more than 10% of the video. And that lookalike audience is going to be dynamic. So if the video ad campaign is an ongoing campaign, you can create a custom audience of all Facebook users who watch at least 10% of the video. Create a lookalike audience based on of that audience. I recommend to work with a 1% lookalike, and you can exclude that audience in the video view campaign, because the result is going to be that the audience that you're reaching, it's going to be a little bit more narrow, but also more relevant. So you're going after a more relevant, a more qualified target audience. Little hack, you don't have to do that, but if you want to get even better results, if you want to build up a even higher quality seed audience, this is just a great strategy. And perfect way to get your target audience engaged. And this is really the blueprint for like really many different campaigns, no matter whether you're selling an e-commerce product, whether you want to drive traffic to a webinar. For example, the video ad can be a case study to warm up your audience, to pre-qualify them and to warm them up. And then you're essentially asking them to take the next step, signing up for a webinar, for instance. The second strategy is actually pretty similar, it's just a little bit different. So we're not starting out with a video view campaign, we start out with a traffic campaign, and we're not sending traffic or we're not promoting a video, we're promoting content, ideally a blog article, to pre-qualify and to warm up the audience. That's the first campaign. And then we follow up with all Facebook users who read the blog article. So we put them into a custom audience, and then, similar to strategy number one, we send them to the offer, to a landing page, to a sales page, to a opt-in page, or for example, to a lead ad. This, by the way, what we've done with strategy number one. If you're working with lead ads and you need to warm up your target audience, it's a really great strategy. Start out with a video ad and then just do a retargeting campaign to a lead ad. Works like magic. The conversion rates are really great. The lead quality is in my opinion, really, really good, no matter what niche you're going after. Of course, you will have to do some optimization, some tweaking, lead nurturing, lead scoring, all that stuff if you're doing lead gen. However, it's just a fantastic strategy to warm up your target audience with content, to get on the radar, to educate them, to position yourself as an authority, to differentiate your business from your competitors. There are many different ways how to use content in that process, but strategy number two is actually very, very similar. Start out with a traffic campaign, send your target audience a blog article, put them into a custom audience, and then retarget them to your offer, for instance. So that's engagement. Purpose of these strategies is to pre-qualify your target audience, to warm up your target audience, and then to take them to the next step. As I mentioned before, try to go broad with the first campaign, no matter whether it's a video view campaign or a traffic campaign. Don't put any artificial constraints on the algorithm. You can also work with larger lookalike audiences, like a 5 or a 10% lookalike audience. But the idea here is to go broad and then to go narrow in the second step, and also make sure that there's some form of consistency between campaign 1 and campaign 2. So in this case here, ideally, if you're sending visitors to a blog article first and then to an opt-in page, there should be some kind of match between the blog article and the opt-in page, or the lead magnet that you're offering. So ideally, the blog article is a shorter version of the opt-in page. Make sure that the video or the blog article, for example, and your destination can be the offer. Again, it can be like a sales page, an advertorial, an opt-in page. There should be some kind of match and continuity. Remember that you're stacking campaign number 2, the retargeting campaign, on top of campaign number 1, and therefore there should be some form of connection, some form of, let's call it memory effect, so that the user actually remembers, oh yeah, I saw this fan page, I remember this business, it was a video about XYZ, and okay, now I'm getting an offer here, which is, for example, a free ebook, an invitation to a webinar. It's a free plus shipping offer. Feels like a logical next step to take. Really important. So apart from engagement strategies, we have follow-up strategies, and they're actually pretty easy to deploy, and something that you should deploy almost always, especially when you're selling products. So follow-up strategy number 1, I think that one is pretty much self-explanatory. You're driving traffic to a sales page, and then people hit the buy button, they get forwarded to the checkout page, and they do not buy for whatever reason, because their phone ran out of battery, they got distracted. Well, deploy a retargeting campaign to follow up with everyone who was on your sales page and on your checkout page, but follow up with the Facebook users who didn't take the next step, who didn't purchase the product. So all that you do is to launch a second campaign, a retargeting campaign, to follow up with all Facebook users who didn't complete the checkout. And that strategy is pretty similar to lead gen. So you have an ad and you follow up with all Facebook users who hit the opt-in page, but who didn't sign up for an ebook, who didn't complete a lead form. So it's very similar to selling products online. They didn't take the next step, and you follow up with them. Great strategy to sign up a few more people. So definitely deploy retargeting, because that audience is very, very relevant. It's really qualified because they clicked on your ad, they hit the opt-in page or the sales page and the checkout page, but they didn't take the last step. Follow up with those people. Really, really important. How to do that, that's something that we'll figure out in a moment. But for now, try to understand that there are engagement strategies and follow-up strategies, and I just showed you 4 different strategies that are actually really common and easy to deploy. And by the way, I don't want to blow your mind, but you can connect both. You can stack a follow-up campaign on top of a engagement campaign. So starting out broadly with a video view campaign, driving traffic to a video, then you have Facebook users who watch at least 75% of the video. You launch a second campaign, driving them straight into the funnel, to a sales page, then to a checkout page, and all Facebook users who didn't complete the checkout, you can follow up with them with a third retargeting campaign, a follow-up campaign.